Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of Valpo Basketball Preview, along with head coach Matt Loddick. This is Todd Eichow. Today we first start off by taking a look at what really has been a great week. We look where we were a week ago. I think we started off a little more somber than we start this week. We talked last week about, hey, sometimes it's better when things aren't going that well and you've played some home games to get out on the road.
Yep.
And that certainly turned out to be the case, I think. You had a great road trip to Ohio with 2 good wins.
No doubt. And, it really wasn't a surprise. It was a carryover from practice. We had our best week of practice leading up to that trip. And so I thought our guys just, we got back to the basics. Simple plays, simple passes. Maybe more of a concentration on defending and putting people in positions where they're uncomfortable and not really able to do necessarily what they want to do. And so, practice was great, led up to some great games, and I thought our guys got a little bit of their mojo back. And obviously our performance last night was kind of a culmination of playing well on D, rebounding really well, and shooting the ball pretty well.
Obviously, one change you made was in the starting lineup, and I think this was something we talked about, the concerted effort to get more out of the bench. And even though you're playing a lot of the same guys, but maybe opening up the bench a little bit. John Kaiser obviously is one guy who appears to be in the rotation now. One thing that happened was Micah Bradford, because he's starting, he's almost automatically getting more minutes than he was getting coming off the bench. It doesn't have to be that way, but that's how it's worked out. And that's allow you to get guys less minutes overall. At least that's how it appears.
Yeah, I mean, that was a concern. One of the things that, Lexus is, first of all, just approached it so professionally. And it hasn't affected him personally or anything, and he's still a great teammate and a great leader. I did want to get Micah some more minutes, and you're right, starting him has provided that. But one of the things is just Lexus, really had 2 years without playing. He had 2 major knee surgeries, and I just thought that we had to get him some minutes off. And so, Micah's obviously responded and played really well, and Lexus has been, what he's always been, which is a great energy guy and still a very valuable piece. And so very pleased with our point guard play as of late.
Micah, in the game you just touched on last night, maybe had his best overall game. I think you felt eventually he's going to make a shot. And when he makes a shot, the next one may fall and the next one may fall. He had made a 3 in league games thus far. Wow. He made 2 in the ball game against Green Bay. And it was part of what was a great night, I think, at the Arc for many reasons.
Yeah.
Not only they came in 5-0 and Alec Peters the record watch all night. It was a really fun night.
It was fun, and we shot the ball well, but I think a lot of that had to do with our ball movement. We were getting great looks. Micah's been performing well, like I've said all year in practice, and I knew that there was going to be a moment where, hopefully that lid was going to come off the basket in games, and it did yesterday. I thought, my favorite play of his was just, his ability when they put pressure on. I thought he got by the defense, finished 1 and 1 in the first half, and then in the second half, really had a tough layup to go. And so, pleased with his effort, but again, it starts in practice. He has put in the work, and it's not a surprise when he has success in the game.
We talked last week that you're never as good as you think when you're playing well.
No doubt.
You're never as bad as you think
right.
when things aren't going well. And so now we're in the exact opposite spot of where we were. When you beat the team that's in first place by 24 points, you think, hey, boy, we're on top of the world. But there's got to be some kind of reality that, hey, this was just one game. And it's good to have a veteran team, and you got veteran leaders who can kind of put things in perspective.
No doubt about it. And for us, the secret, again, has just been making the game more simple. And so we're going to continue to preach that. And we're looking at it as every day we're trying to get better. We know we want to play our best basketball in March. And so we got better this week. We played better. We performed better. But that's because we practiced better. And so we're going to continue to push our team. And thankfully we do have some veteran leadership that's going to continue to push our team, because we know that, we have a slip up in March. We're not going to be where we want to be. And so we got to continue to get better, continuing to build just our team dynamic, our depth, our ability to score, ability to defend, ability to rebound. So it's a daily process.
For the second time in 3 weeks, you play UIC.
Yep.
So it's interesting that there's a quick turnaround in the league. There's teams you haven't played yet. Northern Kentucky, Wright State, but here you are against UIC for the second time. Talk a little bit about the matchup.
I mean, young, athletic. When you're playing a team like that, they're going to continue to get better throughout the year. And so the UIC team that we're playing this coming Sunday is going to be better than the one that we opened up conference with, and we know that. It's going to take a complete team effort. We're going to have to defend our tails off. We're going to have to make shots, and we're really just going to have to compete because that's what they do.
It is pretty obvious that Alec Peters is going to break the school scoring record on Sunday. I'm assuming approaching the game from your standpoint, that doesn't mean anything. It's going to be great, but you don't approach that any differently. But you hear the players talk about it? Coaches, do you guys talk about it at all?
I mean, it's just something that's going to happen, and our big thing is let's put a lot of distance in that record, and got a lot of basketball left to play. The record's going to fall, and our main goal and his main goal really is just to continue to get better and continue to win games.
Well, the Crusaders off 3 wins in 5 days. Got to feel good.
5 and 9, right? Or 5 games in 9 days.
And it's good to be sitting back where we all hoped you'd be, at least at this point, tied with Green Bay atop the conference standings. And best of luck this week.
Thanks, Todd.
For head coach Matt Loddick, this is Todd Eichhout. Thanks for joining us on Valpo Basketball Preview.